What's up, people? This is A.W.Brawler from Nintelligent Podcast, and as you can see from the title up above or below, I forget how they do these things, I have a bit of a bold statement for this video. But of course, a bold statement requires a lot of bold facts. So let's hop into this. So my claim is just basically that as far as the gaming industry goes for Nintendo, the single most important home console to their whole lineage has to be the Wii. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, but the Super Nintendo, but the NES. No, hear me out here. The Wii was the most important one to them. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, like, well, the Wii was a fluke. It sold well, then the Wii U flopped. That's exactly why I say the Wii was the most important one. And I can go into detail and explain just that. So before we hop into this, let's take a little bit of a retrospect and see if we can see just what happened from the Wii to the Wii U. Alright, first and foremost, the Wii launched with Wii Sports, which showed off just what the Wii Remote was all about. And then continued that trend with lots of games that focused on motion control. And then when you didn't focus on motion control, you got something like Mario Bros. Wii, which lets you turn the control sideways, all nostalgia style, and play Mario Bros. Wii. And then you also had Mario Kart, which lets you put your control into a wheel where you got a little peripheral and you could race. So they really hammered home motion gaming with the Wii. So, long story short, they made perfect use of this. They showed us why we needed this. This was our remote for Netflix. This was our motion control. This was our lightsaber. This was our zap gun. This was our knife. This was whatever we wanted it to be. The problem being with the Wii U is that the gamepad, though I find it awesome, really, what was this? I loved it, but for the most part, it was kind of unnecessary. It was just another map that developers just threw stuff on and forgot about it. So they didn't really give us a reason to need this. Though I love it and it's one of my favorite controllers, they did not give us a reason to actually need the gamepad. In fact, until Mario Maker came out, I couldn't really think of a game that justified the use of having the gamepad. And that's why I say the Wii was the most important. Because as you can see, the Wii justified its kind of unique, weird control, where the Wii U didn't. And so it seems they learned from those mistakes, and they look back at the Wii, and now they got the Switch. In fact, it feels like the Switch is kind of more like what the Wii U should have been. It's like the Wii U was a prototype that didn't go all the way with the hybrid thing, and the Switch went all the way with it. I mean, another reason why the Switch is doing a whole lot better than what the Wii U was doing is, like I said, the Wii is the single most important one because it showed Nintendo who they are. Now, I know they've always, back in the day, had power. I'm not saying they never did power. Yes, they did have the Now You're Playing with Power, superpower motto, but their thing was always giving you new, unique experiences, new ways to play. They weren't the power chasers. Xbox started the power chase. PlayStation followed suit. Nintendo, when they try to join in the power chase, it doesn't work for them. So when they came out with the Wii, we're like, look, we're not going to chase power, but we're going to give you something new that the other ones don't offer. So they kind of had an unfair advantage with the Wii Gen. Nobody else was focusing mainly on motion controls but them. I mean, yeah, you technically had the option to use the iToy, which nobody remembered until Kinect popped up, but it wasn't until, the Wii came out, and it was basically more or less, hey, by default, you're going to use motion controls. If you want a classic control, you buy a classic control. So they kind of, from the get-go, right out the box, gave you a different, unique way to play, and it reminded people just what Nintendo is. So apart from just having motion control games and games that cater to it, they also gave some of their best games, like Galaxy. Mario Galaxy was pretty awesome. I personally think Skyward Sword was pretty good. It's my second favorite Zelda right after Wind Waker. Donkey Kong Country Returns. They even had games like Phantom Brave. They had the old school type games like 007 came back. NBA Jam came back on the Wii. So though it didn't have the graphic capability of the other ones, they gave you what you expected from Nintendo. All of those type of games. Like now, though we may laugh at it, yeah, they hit a lot of the casual market, but people who were into things like Jumbo Safari and Cooking Mama, where were they last gen? Where are they this gen? I mean, yes, they're on their phones because where else can they play stuff like Jumbo Safari and Cooking Mama, which we laugh at and call shovelware? I was dating a girl at the time who wanted Jumbo Safari and Cooking Mama. So, yes, it was a good thing that we had this and these Agatha Christie games and not these casual games. And with the Wii U, it's almost like they forgot their identity and they decided, we're going to go hardcore, but hardcore Nintendo style. So it may sound crazy to hear it, but I think the Wii U's main problem is they tried too hard to be hardcore and not hard enough to be uniquely Nintendo. So what can be gleaned from the failed Wii U? Well, as you can see here, you can see where the Wii came into effect again. Because they saw the Wii U and they're like, look, people don't understand this the way we want to use it. Because there's only a handful of games that utilize it. So they thought, hey, remember the Wii Remote? Yeah, we do remember the Wii Remote. So then they thought, from the Wii Remote, what if we had a gamepad that had its own Wii Remotes? Enter the Joy-Cons. So now you have these retractable Wii Remotes, basically. And then comes your Switch. And you can see the picture all starts to come together now. They want to give you the Wii Remote experience. They want to give you the touchpad experience. They want to give you the portable experience. They want to give you every experience that was Nintendo, all in one device when they create the Switch. Because the Wii had to remind them, hey, we do things our own way and we need a system that shows we do things our way. I mean, when we think about it, even the GameCube was a hard lesson in this. Because the GameCube was one of the most powerful the gen that it came out. Xbox was the most powerful, but if you look at the games on it, the GameCube utilizes power better. Look at Star Fox Adventures. Look at Rogue Squadron. Look at Resident Evil 4. It utilizes powers and showed you how advanced it was graphically. Yet people still were making games for the PS2, which wasn't nearly as powerful. In fact, it wasn't until the HD Twins generation that developers start crying, going, "Oh, we can't make this run on this system." Whereas just the gen before it, everything was on the PS2, which was known for being the weakest one. So now we fast forward back to the Wii, and we see the same thing was going on. A lot of games were being ignored by the third parties during that time. But now we look at the Switch, where it's clearly powerful enough to run those games and give you those Jumbo Safari Cooking Mama type experiences as well. Because there's some indie games that I just cannot understand for the life of me on there that some of my friends are excited to see come to it. There's even like a mobile game coming, Arena of Valor, which I know a lot of friends that say they want to pick one up for that. And my personal favorite RPG, Phantasy Star Online, is coming to the Switch. So they're giving you that Nintendo experience again. Whereas the Wii U, though it has Nintendo games, I don't know, it felt like I liked it, I love it, I still love the games, but it didn't feel Nintendo enough for me. It just, I don't know, it felt like they were trying to be somebody else with still that Nintendo flair to it. Whereas the Switch, even with having Wolfenstein and Doom coming in, games that I think are very un-Nintendo, they have Mario and Rabbids, which is very Nintendo. They have Xenoverse, which is Dragon Ball Z. Anime has always been Nintendo. They have a Fate Stay Night game with all of those Fates characters in there. That's very Nintendo. I mean, it's like the light bulb went in their head and they looked back at the Wii and said, what made this successful? Because now analysts are expecting the Switch to do better numbers than the Wii, where they're guessing it to do over 130 million over its lifetime. Now, whether I agree with that or disagree with that, we'll save that for another video. But I think I more or less summed up my feelings on why I feel like the Wii was the most important. Because directly after the Wii, when they tried to do something different, it didn't pan out for them. But it's like they look back at the Wii and realize how the Wii combined all their history at the time into one device. And now the Switch is doing the same thing. You have your Super Nintendo control stuff going on with the Switch. You got your 64 stuff going on with the Switch. You got your GameCube type stuff going on with the Switch. You got the Wii remotes going on with the Switch. It's like they took every control they ever had and every idea they had and rammed it into one and said, here it is. This is Nintendo. Let's show them what we're made of. And yes, there was a Sonic pun, which is a Sega game and not Nintendo, but you get what I'm saying. So until next time, this is A.W.Brawler saying be you, be true, be human. Agree with me, disagree with me, don't think the Wii was the most powerful. I mean, well, not the most powerful, but the most influential, the most important one to Nintendo's whole lineage as a console maker. Well, tell me your thoughts below and maybe we can discuss this and have a follow-up to the video. See you around.